Imagine it's another calm morning. The soft light of dawn is filtering through your window, the world outside still quiet and calm. You stretch, yawn, and begin your usual routine, thinking to yourself, today will be just like any other day. But what if right at this moment, something unexpected is happening inside your body? Something you can't feel, but could change your life? What if that simple, peaceful start to your day is unknowingly putting your heart at risk? This is the story of Harold Simmons. Like many of us, he thought he knew his body and had it all figured out. Until one morning, everything changed. What seemed like an ordinary day turned into a wake-up call, a reminder that our bodies don't always follow the rules we think we know. Harold's experience began with a simple morning routine, but it led to an eye-opening realization about the connection between our health, intimacy, and choices we make every single day. If Harold's story made you stop and think, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on more stories like this. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had a moment where your health surprised you? Drop a comment below and let us know. Stay with us to learn more about the lessons Harold learned and how they might just change the way you live your own life. He thought it was just another morning, the hidden danger. No one warned him about you're over 60, maybe 70, and you've probably been told to stay active, keep your heart strong, and maintain intimacy for emotional health. But what if I told you that the time of day you choose to express intimacy could be putting your heart at risk? That the quietest moment in your morning might actually be the most dangerous? That's what Harold Simmons never knew. And it's why we're telling his story. Harold was 82, a retired Navy man, the kind of guy who still folded his laundry with military precision, pressed his shirt even if he wasn't going anywhere, and lined up his slippers every night like little soldiers. He lived alone in a quiet retirement home in Michigan. Nothing fancy, just peaceful, predictable. Every morning just before 6 a.m., the sunlight would stretch across the blinds and land softly on Harold's quilt. That was his cue. He'd stir, his joints would protest, his knees would crack. But that didn't stop him. Harold believed in ritual. Ritual gave him order, control, purpose. Now there's something you should know about Harold. He wasn't lonely in the way people assume old men are. He had friends. He had a daughter, Elaine, who called every Sunday. But there were moments, private moments, when Harold felt the ache of something deeper. Something he didn't talk about. Something he didn't think he was supposed to want anymore. Intimacy, not necessarily sex, not the way the movies show it, but connection, pleasure, the act of remembering what it felt like to be wanted, desired, alive. That's why every morning, before the halls got noisy, before anyone came to check on him, Harold would take an hour for himself. He called it his meditation time. He told his daughter, "I like to ease into my day, clear my head." And she'd smile and say, "Whatever works, Dad." But it wasn't about clarity. It was about reclaiming something no one had told him he was still allowed to have. Pleasure. He would close his eyes, let the remnants of a dream swirl around him. Sometimes his late wife's laughter, sometimes a memory from 1972, when he danced barefoot at a beach bonfire with a stranger whose name he never caught. His breathing would slow, his hand would wander. He knew his rhythm, knew what was too much, knew how to stay within the lines, and it gave him peace. Until one morning, it didn't. That day started the same, a faint warmth in his chest, not pain, just a tightness. He ignored it. He'd felt that before. His nitroglycerin was on the nightstand, just in case. But what Harold didn't know, what most seniors still don't know, is that the early morning hours are the riskiest for your heart. Between 4:30 and 7:30 a.m., your body naturally produces more cortisol. Your blood pressure spikes. Your arteries, already stiff with age, have to work harder before you've even sat up. This isn't fear-mongering, it's biology. For younger people, it's a window of energy and readiness. But for seniors, especially those with a history of heart disease or high blood pressure, it's a battlefield. And intimacy, even solo intimacy, adds strain. Harold didn't know that. No one had told him. Not during his yearly checkups. Not after his bypass at 68. not in the pamphlets his doctor gave him about senior health. So that morning, when he closed his eyes and let his memories guide him, his heart whispered something he didn't hear, a flicker of heat, a short breath, but he pushed through, like he always had. 10 minutes later, he slumped gently back against his pillows. His hand dropped softly beside him, and the room was quiet again. When the nurse entered an hour later, she thought he was sleeping. His robe was slightly open, nothing shameful, just human, honest. But Harold wasn't asleep. He had suffered a silent cardiac event, not violent, not sudden, just final. The coroner called it natural. Cardiac arrest. Elaine asked what that meant. They said, these things happen. But Elaine knew Harold, knew he'd been fine the day before, knew he walked laps around the garden, knew he looked forward to their Sunday calls. And so she asked the question no one else had. Why did it happen that morning? That question led her down a rabbit hole of studies, articles, expert interviews. What she discovered shocked her. There's a term, circadian vulnerability. It means your body doesn't respond the same way to stress, effort, or stimulation at all hours. For older adults, the early morning is when the heart is most fragile. Elaine found dozens of quiet stories online. Seniors who passed away unexpectedly during or just after intimacy. Husbands who died during morning sex. Women who suffered strokes after early arousal. All marked as natural causes. But no one had connected the dots publicly. Elaine did. She realized no one was having this conversation about how the timing of intimacy matters, especially after 60. That gentle activities, even self-pleasure, could strain the heart during its most vulnerable window. That no one was teaching this. No one was warning people like Harold, and so she made it her mission. She spoke out in forums, wrote articles, partnered with doctors, created support guides for caregivers. She told her father's story, not to shame, but to spark awareness. Because this isn't about telling seniors not to enjoy their bodies. It's about giving them the knowledge to do it safely. Here's what Elaine learned, and what she wants every older adult to know. Morning is not the safest time for exertion. Wait until mid-morning or afternoon when your body has adjusted and your heart rate is stable. Check your heart health before engaging in intimate activities. Even solo activity raises your pulse and blood pressure. Communicate with your doctor. Ask them how your medications, conditions, or past surgeries affect your ability to be sexually or emotionally active. And perhaps most importantly, don't carry shame. Pleasure doesn't expire, but you deserve to explore it with safety and awareness. Harold didn't do anything wrong. He followed a ritual that gave him comfort, but his heart wasn't ready that morning, and he never got the chance to find out that something so private could also be something so risky. But now you know. If you're over 60, or if you love someone who is, this isn't just a story. It's a lifeline. Harold's final morning doesn't have to repeat. You can choose to wait until later in the day. You can ask better questions. You can create space for these conversations with your partner, your doctor, your community. You deserve to live fully, to love fully, and to do it safely. So next time you wake up early and feel the urge to connect with a partner, a memory, a part of yourself, pause, breathe, let your body catch up, and remember Harold. He didn't know, but now you do. And you can share this story so someone else doesn't have to learn the hard way. Because dignity in aging isn't just about comfort. It's about truth, agency, and choice. You have that choice now. Make it wisely. As we grow older, we often fall into the comfort of familiar routines, believing they are always safe. But Harold's story is a powerful reminder that even our most trusted rituals can hold hidden dangers. The quiet moments we cherish, especially in the early hours of the morning, can be the most vulnerable times for our bodies. And without the right knowledge, we risk more than we realize. It's not about fear, but awareness. The kind of awareness that allows us to live longer, healthier lives. For seniors and those who love them, Harold's experience underscores the importance of asking the tough questions and staying informed. The truth is, intimacy, even in its most personal form, can strain our hearts at certain times of the day. But knowing when to pause, when to wait, and when to check in with our doctors can make all the difference. Aging doesn't mean giving up the pleasures of life. It means adapting to them with greater care and understanding. Harold's story is not just a cautionary tale, it's an invitation to start the conversations that so often go unspoken. Conversations about the risks we face as we age and how to navigate them safely. For those who are over 60 or care for someone who is, this knowledge is vital. With the right information, we can continue to enjoy life and intimacy, all while safeguarding our health and well-being. Now that you know you can make informed choices, you can prioritize your heart health without sacrificing connection.